Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson.
And welcome back to the Retro Review. I'm your host, the Bearded Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak.
Like you forgot who he was. What's up?
I have a bunch of different names. And we have the dude.
We know.
That was before witness protection. Hi, guys.
All right. If you haven't figured it out, we are reviewing the movie Lost in Space.
Are we?
But before we get into it again, let's check out that trailer.
Yes, let's.
Oh, Heather Graham again.
Yes. Heather Graham again.
She's better at Boogie Nights.
Very much so.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Major, she's all yours.
Mission Control, this is Jupiter 1. The
you
Robinsons
doing?
are all tucked in. We are ready to fly.
The time has come.
What she said.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger!
You did this.
The hyperdrive.
It can be thrown anywhere in the galaxy.
Anywhere but here.
Initiate!
We're lost, aren't we?
Their position is uncharted.
That's an annoying voice
I'm
again.
detecting motion. Behind you.
Their enemies are unknown.
Evil knows evil.
So my
Those were
quarters
some
are
nasty
Why don't you
spiders.
just hang on to your joystick?
Warning, warning!
Their survival is uncertain.
Give me an excuse to kill you.
The Robinson family will
I
travel
wonder what it'll be like to jettison your body into deep space. Do they have a name for what's wrong with you?
beyond the frontiers of adventure
Cool.
to find their way home.
Get us airborne.
Hang on!
Lost in space.
Action. So action-packed back
And there you have it. There you have it. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this movie, please?
I mean, I already closed the goddamn page.
I got you.
Robinson set
Oh my
space
God.
for an adventure to save the human race, and now they're fighting to save their own lives. I'm pretty sure that's what IMDb describes it as. A movie that came out in 1998. I remember seeing it in the theater once when it came out, and the next time I watched it was last week when we decided we were going to do this movie. It's funny when you watch a movie once and then you watch it again 20 years later, or when you have the same exact conversation 10 minutes later, because it could just be like a brand new thing, like you don't remember it, like it's a whole new conversation, a whole new flick. And that's what that was for Lost in Space. Last time I saw it was in the theater in 1998, and the next time I watched it was in my office in here. So it was a completely different film than I had remembered, and Lacey Chabert has a very annoying voice.
Very much so.
Hasn't changed much either.
Mm-mm. Mikey the Freak, how about you? What was your first impressions on rewatch or watching?
Mikey, what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This was, I think, the first time I've ever watched it all the way through. I do remember it back in '98. Very little.
You just
it was a year-
graduated, right? You just graduated.
Yes,
high school in
I
98.
just graduated high school in '98, and I think it knocked Titanic off for probably about a week, maybe two.
Yeah, it was like 2
Titanic
weeks.
I think it was 2 weeks, and then Titanic was on there for like 30 weeks, like the whole damn year. Yeah, so it was an interesting movie to say the least. I did like the space exploration of it. But this was based off the 50s and 60s television show, right, Steve?
Yeah, it was based off of of the TV show. Fun fact: actually, everyone in this movie had a contractual obligation to a 3-pitcher deal, but this movie did so poorly in the theater that they never renewed on the contracts.
Yeah, this did
That's
poorly
funny.
in theaters, even though it was #1 for 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
So
Knocking
strange.
off the gigantic Titanic.
Yeah. Which
Yeah, crazy.
my grandfather actually saw the Titanic and was warning everyone watching the ship, going, "It's gonna sink. It's gonna sink." No one would listen to him. And about 20 minutes into the movie, they had to ask him to leave.
What that I would love to be in that theater.
That would
That
have
would
been
have been
funny.
funny. But no, I didn't. It was very hard to grasp the special effects. I thought were terrible. I did
The
like the
CGI,
spiders.
the CGI animal that is Lacey Chabbert's pet was supposed to be an animatronic, but the
Yeah,
animatronic didn't look real enough, so they made it CGI.
Oh, it was bad. It reminded me of
that
the
was bad.
Mac and like a CGI Mac and me, little
You
Mac
should
and
have
me.
just get a capuchin monkey. You just capuchin monkeys. They're in space. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what about the animals like from Flight of the Navigator? Those
Those aren't
little
real. Those aren't
Oh,
real.
those were real. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Fucking yeah. So
Kevin, Bearded Geek, what did you
I
think of
didn't
this
really
movie?
like it as much, but yeah, Bearded Geek. What was
it,
your thoughts?
this was my first time watching this movie all the way
New
through as well,
territory.
and
We're in new territory now.
yeah, yes. Uh,
That's the
okay, I'm
5 minute
gonna
mark.
let everybody in on the behind the scenes. We were we were like 5 minutes into recording when realized that we weren't actually recording. So,
And
oops.
for those people that are just listening, Kevin's throwing up the quotation marks like we're recording. And me and Steve were all into it for the first 5 to 6 minutes of it. We were very serious on it, and we went into depth on a lot of details. And Bearded Geek was like, "Hey, I don't think
I
we're
don't think we're
recording yet."
recording.
And we're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I'm like,
Okay,
no.
let's try it again.
Bearded Geek, what did you think about this movie?
Yeah,
Yes,
it
new
was
territory now.
did not care for it. Did it was a very I'm not gonna lie. I think I almost fell asleep like twice. That the girl's voice was super annoying.
Oh, Lacey, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really do much to. They tried to set up the bad guys in this movie by casually mentioning what their goals are for and stuff, and it just didn't do well. I didn't
They
like the
weren't even the bad guys, though. The bad guy was the government. The government trying to stop the ship in the first place and hiring Dr. Smith to take care of it all. Those are the real
yeah.
bad guys.
But the whole setup of it was just poorly executed, and then Matt LeBlanc trying to be an action star just didn't work at all.
Yeah.
Just it was
He was in the middle
horrible.
of filming Friends still, right? This is, yeah,
Yeah,
98,
yeah, he was
99, right?
still filming Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. If you have not seen this movie, I do not recommend. Steve.
Watch it once and let us know what
Yeah,
you think of the
yeah.
movie.
What's the
We
soundtrack?
don't
Is that what you're
recommend
No,
asking?
no, no. Ratings.
Oh,
Ratings.
ratings, Steve, ratings.
well, here's the soundtrack. Um, if I was gonna rate this movie, it'd be a 4, and I think that's being generous. I do not plan on watching this movie again. There are so
Ever.
many outrageous things that happen that we're just not even going to get into. If I had tried to not watch this movie and then wing it, and then you guys had randomly started talking about like alien insect Gary Oldman, I would have had no idea what you were talking about, because I would not have remembered that from the original, from my first viewing.
Yeah, he gets a
So,
scratch on him and turns into a freaking spider
so it's a
person.
it's a
It's
four.
like Spider Man all over again, but evil Spider
It's a
Man.
solid 4 out of 10. Mikey, what would you give this movie?
It's a solid 3. Just because I like Gary Oldman as an actor.
What about William
Space
Hurt? You like William Hurt?
I've only seen him in a few things.
All right. What about Mimi Rogers?
No, same thing.
What about Heather Graham? I keep going down.
Yes. Heather Graham, that's one.
All right, keep
And
going.
then Gary Oldman is two.
No, keep going. Fine, whatever. Go. Let's
Okay,
end this episode.
that's my 2 out of 3 so far. Yeah, but I give it a 3. I didn't like the twist at the end. I thought it was weird. Even though I do like the actor that played the older version of Will. He's been
Yeah.
in a bunch of movies. That hilarious Irish fellow or Scottish. I'm sorry, but I liked him as a character. But yeah, it's not something I would recommend. It'd be the same exact thing. So a solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm right there with you. It's a 4. I'll give it a 4. It's not horrible, but it's not good either. It's just it's blah. It's a very blah blah movie. But yeah, I do have some fun facts for this movie.
Are they fun?
The first robot in the movie weighed 2 tons and required 8 people to control.
Jesus Christ.
A huge production. This movie occupied 12 separate sound stages when it was being filmed at London's Shepperton Studios. And this feature film was the debut of Lacey Shebert. Is that how you pronounce her name?
I think it's Shabay.
Get out of
Shebay.
here.
I think
Shut
it's yeah.
Either way, annoying
Whatever.
voice turned into a hottie though. So
Oh,
I'll
she
allow
is
that.
definitely a hottie.
But that's all I have for that. Steve, what do we have for a soundtrack?
Oh boy. When you Google Lost in Space soundtrack, it looks like the entire soundtrack was done by Bruce Broughton. The prologue, Preparing for Space, The Launch, Robot Attack, Into the Sun, Spiders, A New World, Guiding Stars, The Time Bubbles, Smith's Plan, Will and Smith Explore, Will's Time Machine, Spider Smith, Facing the Monster, Attempted Escape, The Time Portal, Through the Planet, Back to Hyperspace, Fanfare to Will, Lost in Space.
That's kind of like the whole movie.
Yeah,
From front to back.
it's when you have a movie that doesn't have an actual soundtrack but a score,
Yeah.
they'll usually just name the score like the scene in the movie.
That makes sense.
All right, Mikey the Freak, what do we have for some related reels?
Yeah, so I went with one of my favorite actors, Gary Oldman. I went with The Fifth Element, great movie, another 90s movie. Harry Potter, he was in a couple of Harry Potter films. He was in The Dark Knight, one of the great Batman, newer Batman movies. And he was just in the recent movie Oppenheimer.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It's true. My wife, like 20 minutes into seeing Gary Oldman, she goes, he really looks like that bad guy from The Fifth Element that has the hair to the side. I was like, well, I wonder why.
Winner. William Hurt. William Hurt, one of his better ones from the 80s. Broadcast News. The Accidental Tourist. Both of those are decent movies from the 80s. And he was also in like the Hulk and the Avengers Endgame. So
he plays Captain Ross.
Yep. Thaddeus Ross. And then LeBlanc, even though I didn't really know him much, he was in Charlie's Angels, the first Charlie's Angels movie.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yep. He was also, of course, big in Friends, and then his spinoff show, Joey.
Yeah, he was also in a movie.
Other than that,
he was in a movie called Ed about a chimpanzee that plays baseball.
Oh, he was in that movie?
Yeah, he's the baseball
I watched that movie like once.
He's the baseball player.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
I've seen Ed. I remember Ed.
All right.
That's
Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
Oh, that's the last podcast you'd want. It's available right there on every major podcasting outlet that you can think of in YouTube. Tip the veal, chat the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
Make sure you check out the sister channel to Back to the Retro Review, which is the Mod Squad, where we have a gamer show, a horror show, a movie show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway.
Yeah.
You can also find Back to the
Take my
Retro
wife,
Review
please.
on most major podcasting platforms. All right.
Love it.
That does it. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying thank you for being a friend.
See ya.
Caw.